Hey everybody. So it's a time of year where I've been spending a lot of time doing goal setting and strategizing. So this is something that not everybody does, but it's something that I think is really, really important to help you get some clarity on where you want to go. So first of all, I want to tell you why you need to do it. So let's imagine you are going on a long journey to a new city you've never been to before. What would you do to make sure you get there safely? You'd take out your sat nav or you'd put it in your car, put the address in, and that's what helps you to find your direction, find your way. So having some goals is really important to help you get to where you need to get to. So we'll talk a bit more about the type of goals. So I obviously have professional goals, which are related to my career and my business. And what isn't spoken about much is your personal goals. So personal goals are basically related to, I guess, your happiness and you as a person. So my professional goal might be to write a book, for example. My personal goal might be to make sure that I do more of the hobbies that I love. That's an example of a professional and a personal. The reason why you need both kinds of goals is because it will help you to understand and to make sure that you actually carry these things out. So like I said, for your own happiness, your personal goals are really, really important. And it's something that I think really will help you with just general, your general well-being and mental health as well, which we hear so much about. So the next question is probably, how do I goal set? Okay. So what I recommend is you sit down and you basically go through various different goals that you want to achieve for, let's say, next year or even for the next decade, whatever. You make a list of them and then you categorize them into personal and professional. Once you've got your list, you then need to think about how you're going to make these things happen, because it's great to have a whole list of things. What you need to remember is if you don't have a how, you're not going to know how to achieve them. So for example, if I want to write a book, say, I know and I need to make this actionable, not actionable, I need to make it I need to be accountable for this. So if I know I want to write a book, I would make sure and I commit myself and dedicate time to making sure that I sit down and I write this book and I spend some time writing every week, for example. So that's I want to write a book, that's my goal. And in order to do that, I'm going to make sure I sit down every week and commit and dedicate some time to writing, for example. If it's like a personal goal, which is, say, I want to learn how to horse ride, my how would be let me look into different places where I can do that. Let me actually understand more about the cost, how much time it's going to take, etc., etc. But that's an example of what you can be doing. So I think it's also important to remember that you can think big and you can dream big. And I think that's really, really important to think big and dream big. But you need to be realistic to some point. These goals need to be things that even if you can achieve them, that's great. But what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't put too much pressure on yourself, because I think that's when it all becomes a bit obsessive. So you're setting these goals out, and then you're also writing obviously the how as well. And if you want to take it one step further and to help you to really get some clarity about how to make things happen, then I would suggest what you do is you prioritize. So for example, if there's things you want to do sooner, you put that as your priority. You can put them into like a phase 1, a phase 2, a phase 3. So once you've achieved your phase 1 goals, then you can move on to your phase 2 goals, so on and so forth. Something else I've been doing as well, which I find really helpful, is I've got a whole big book. And this book is 2020 planning for me. So it's really important to put yourself first. And I talk about this so much, and I talk about it with other people. And I think the problem is we get so focused on achieving stuff and success that we forget to actually put some time into ourselves as well. So I've got this journal. It's not really a journal, it's a book, but it's all 2020 planning for me. And everything that I need to write down, I just write down there. So there's a few tips for you. Write down or brainstorm your goals. Can be whether in the next year or can be in the next 6 months or can be in the next decade if you want. Categorize them into personal, categorize them into professional. There might even be a bit more kind of specific. You could have health goals, you could have, you know, goals for your children, you could have goals for I don't know, hobbies, for example, but categorize them and then sit down and be realistic in how you can actually make them happen, because it's all about actually the how as well. Once you've done that, if you then are at the point where you want a bit more clarity, then make sure you prioritize them. You can prioritize them like what I've done. I put them in a phase 1, a phase 2, a phase 3, but break them down so there's something that are actually easy to make happen. And you're making yourself accountable as well by doing this. So that's my advice for some goal setting. I will be talking more about goal setting, I'm sure, in the future. And I will be sharing more videos like this as well that aren't just related to social media, but related to the general business world, and also mindset as well is really important to me as well. So watch your space, keep an eye out for some new things coming very, very soon from me. And if you do set goals, drop me a comment, let me know what they are, and also how you find these videos, because I really, really love to hear your feedback. And I think it's important for us to interact. And that's what I'm all about next year as well, and at the moment, but it's about building relationships with you guys. So share your ideas, your comments, any questions in the comment section, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.